Yeah, sis and tell. A whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. Amanda does stand up, Alison's on TV. And when they hop on the phone, it's the place you want to be. Sis and tell.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm so good because I feel like I have achieved something that I really wanted to achieve in high school that I didn't. And, you know,
Did you make the cheerleading squad?
I made the cheerleading squad. No, I did. Yeah, that's funny you said that because I did say my friend Cakes, who runs the local dance studio where Oscar and Ruby take hip hop, I was like, you should do an adult cheerleading class. That would be fun. I would totally do.
Isn't that a movie? I think there was a movie of aging senior cheerleaders.
Oh, it should be. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not sure it was very good, but I think there was a movie of that same.
Sounds like something Melissa McCarthy would be in. But no, I always, and I know your yearbook and your high school were very different, but we had senior superlatives. And I felt like I was super close to being voted funniest senior year. Like I would take exit polls and and a lot of people said that they were voting for me, but you never saw like what the final count was. I didn't win and I was pretty sad.
Did you ask for a recount? We could have gotten you an attorney. Now I know we could have gotten you an attorney to actually
I should have
demand a recount or, something.
So we have a local neighborhood Facebook page, and it gets a little riled up. Like people post ridiculous things, people get into fights. I posted something on there. I said when I was thinking of getting a puppy, I needed to be talked out of it, and I said, "Hey, all you people who adopted pandemic puppies, tell me the worst things about puppies. Tell me all the terrible things." It ended up being this post that brought the whole entire neighborhood together because we collectively agreed that although puppies are adorable, they're also assholes. I know you're going to have to bleep that out, at least part of it, but you all got the gist of what I was saying. So then I did another post to try and get everyone together, and that was on Halloween. I posted all these pictures of me in my banana costume, which people love, and then I said, I'll show you my costume and you show me yours, and it was geared towards adults, and everyone started posting their costumes, and it brought us all together. And then this guy, Brad, the next day said, let's vote for the unofficial mayor of Oakhurst, which is this neighborhood, and I'm going to leave the poll open so you can post whomever. And a friend of mine nominated me for Oakhurst mayor.
Wow.
And I was just really, it was so touching just to be nominated. And
that's what people say. That's just something people say. They really do want to win, though.
I did want to win. And, I'm not competitive when it comes to sports. And honestly, if I'm on your team and if it's like an athletic team, we're going to lose, right? You don't want me on your team. But if it's creative, you better believe that we are going to win. And I felt like this was creative. And I kept on saying to Aaron, I should do a campaign video because it was between me, this guy Marshall, who's not on Facebook. I don't even know who he is. This really popular homeless gentleman who, again, I don't know who they're talking about. Although there is a guy near us who likes to expose himself on the trail, but hopefully that was
how
not
do you compete with that?
Right. How do you really?
Free shows. I guess you charge for your shows. So
if someone threw me some Mardi Gras beads, I don't know what would happen. But
right.
I'm just saying. But so then, and there was me, and they said Amanda Marks, AKA the Banana Lady. Right. So things were
so proud that you have a name for yourself in your neighborhood.
So I kept on trailing Marshall in the votes, and I was like, "What? I really need to make a campaign video." So I did. I made a campaign video in the nth hour because Brad said at midnight a decision was going to be made. So at 4 p.m., I went outside. I spent literally 90 seconds recording a video, and I edited it together, and it was like about 40 seconds long, and I posted it, and I quickly went from second place to winner. Would you like to hear the campaign video?
I would love to hear the campaign video.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Hi, I'm Amanda Marks, and I have been nominated as the unofficial mayor of Oakhurst.
You may recognize me from the comments section on the Oakhurst Facebook page, the produce section, or from nothing at all. It's truly just an honor to be nominated, and I hope to follow in the footsteps of other fictional mayors that are also food, like Mayor McCheese. I'm here to tell you all votes are important. So whether you vote for someone else or you vote for me, it doesn't matter. Just vote for the right person. That's right, I said right. I'm a banana. I'm Amanda Marks, the Banana Lady, and I approve this message.
Okay, I have to admit, I did see you post the video and I did not watch it. I don't know whether I assumed we would talk about it and I wanted to be surprised, or frankly, you post so much stuff that I just don't watch it all. So that was well done. I did laugh at the ripe person for the job. Did you make up that script? That was very quick.
I did. I improvised it. I can't. Aaron kept on trying to get me to write a script, and I was like, I can't. Once I write it, then it'll never be good, right? I need to improvise it. And I had like a million outlines in my head, and then what works best for us is procrastination
and spontaneity, right?
Yeah,
the combination.
I should say, yeah, the spontaneity always works better for me. And I literally, I had 90 seconds or less of material, probably much less than that, and it ended up being 40 seconds. So yeah, I was so proud of myself. I was so proud. And then I jumped 30 votes.
Amazing.
And people started sharing it. And
were you allowed to vote if you don't live in your neighborhood? How did they control that?
Well, you have to belong to the Facebook group.
Oh, so it is a closed Facebook group. So that's how they
yes.
Okay.
And here's the issue. And it's not an official title, of course, but I don't actually
I would imagine not. If they're electing a woman who dresses up in a banana.
Right.
So, or at least potentially electing you.
I don't actually live in Oakhurst. Oakhurst is a neighborhood within Decatur, but our neighborhood doesn't have a name. And so I feel like I belong to Oakhurst and the Oakhurst state of mind, and we spend a lot of time there. So that was okay. But I was about to, do another video about the rumors are true. I don't actually live in Oakhurst.
You would have lost all the votes, though.
Maybe. No, because I'm fun.
Okay, so Bamanda, whatever your name is, Banana, what'd you name yourself? Bamanda, yes. Tell us the end result. What happened? I'm on the edge of my seat.
So the next day, I'm waiting for Brad to make the announcement. I have won by 15 or 20 votes. It was 20 votes. And I'm like, I'm obviously the winner. This was so exciting. I had dreams of like making an acceptance speech video and delivering bananas to people that just said something sweet. If people wanted me, I'd deliver like bouquets of bananas to people who are feeling sad. And Brad finally made a post, and it was the equivalent of you and your siblings having a talent show, and you're waiting for your parents to judge and say who won first place. And they're like, everyone's a winner. It was a tie, right? So that he comes back and he says, basically, you choose. I'm not going to say who the winner was. Everyone's the winner. You pick who best represents you.
What?
So yeah. And I was like, what? That's
not democracy. That's anarchy.
No, right? And it was a fake poll anyways, but I should still win.
And you don't live there and you're a banana. So.
But
so you know how you respond to that. There's only one way Bamanda can respond to that.
What?
But I had the most appeal.
Well, everyone, believe me, that was like the most common post. That was.
So that wasn't unique.
The puns were ridiculous. But anyways, it made me happy. And then I got so sad. I was like, but we have the election results. This is one election we have the results for. I won. It was clear. Not even close. Just let me win. Let me be the unofficial banana mayor of Oakhurst.
So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start. Here we go. I'm playing the traditional, victory music for you. I'm gonna give you now 30 seconds on this platform to say your official, unofficial Oakhurst mayor acceptance speech. Go.
Thank you so much, Oakhurst and random people who belong to the Oakhurst Facebook group but don't actually live in Oakhurst, who voted for me for the unofficial mayor of Oakhurst. I will fulfill my mayoral duties with pride, with happiness, and with appeal. Please. I had to use a pun. Let's all go bananas at my mayor party later tonight, which will be virtual. That's what I would. Thank you. Thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. Yes. Okay. So do you feel better now? I mean,
no. I wanted to be walking down the street and everyone goes, "Hey, look, there's Bamanda, our mayor."
Apparently
I'm
some
like,
will
"Thank
be.
you." I wanted to,
Some will be if they
right.
chose you as their own unofficial mayor.
I wanted to be in a parade. No, that won't even exist.
Well, luckily, I mean, there's no parades during COVID anyway, so you didn't really miss out on that.
Yeah. All right.
So I have some exciting news.
What?
It's not as exciting as you winning unofficial mayor of Oakhurst, but I went to Dollywood, and I've
Did
never
you
been
see?
to Dollywood.
Did you see Dolly?
I didn't see Dolly, and I love Dolly, but I'm telling you, Dolly should rule the world. You know, speaking of
should.
who should be president, Dolly Parton, she could win as president of the United States. It really is unbelievable because here we are in Sevierville, right, of Tennessee. So people might know Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, you know, and this area of the country, right, is very homogeneous, right, very, very Christian, very white, very Southern, but also very just very loving, I think, right? And they care a lot about each other. Who they care most about, though, is Dolly Parton. Yeah, people love Dolly. And so our friend who has a special connection to Dollywood got us in. So she took me and Alan, and we went on a Friday, and it was, you know, they have a limited number of people who can go in. You have to social distance. They have a lot of things closed, but
Were they wearing masks?
Masks are mandated. And
Did you get a Dolly mask?
No, that's a good question. I know.
I thought it would have had rhinestones on it. It would have been like cleavage or something.
I did not see Dolly masks, but everybody there is wearing a mask. And as far as I know, like the neighboring cities don't really have mask mandates, right? So people can go into some of the other more touristy places without masks, but you cannot enter Dollywood without a mask. And they've had this in place since the summer. And people are respectful. Everybody's wearing masks. They had a lot of music. What?
They keep them on because people will like enter with masks on and then like move them.
No. Not only did they keep them on, they kept them on correctly, right? People had them over the nose, which, you know, nothing drives me crazier than seeing the under the nose mask wearers. No, people had them on correctly. People kept them on. People kept their distance. They even had the rides going on and they just spaced people. It was amazing. And it's like being at a huge folk art festival with music and
roller
food
coasters.
and roller coasters. And it really was like, I'm telling you, even though a lot of the music was very religious in nature, right? There was a lot of singing, but we were just so happy. I was singing along with all those songs. I don't know.
Like a cruise ship. Like a cruise ship.
It was sort of like a revival meets Sunday afternoon market. Right? Like fruit stand and arts fair.
But did it also feel like Six Flags?
Sort of. I mean, it did have the rides and had some decent rides, but no, it does. I'm going to just state for the record, it does not feel like Six Flags. Six Flags feels like an amusement park. This feels like you are going to a country fair that happens to have some really good rides. Because it's so kitschy. I mean, everywhere you turn, there are like the games and the carnival games and things like that. But I just can't explain it. It really was, you know, like any of those the small towns in the South when you road trip and you go off the exit and like you love like, you know, going into these stores because they have cool crafts or, you know, the wooden signs and
pickled okra
and the hand crocheted like mats or things like that. It had all of that, right? And the people are there and they're handcrafting, but they're wearing masks. And it was awesome. It was the closest we've been to sort of this normalcy, like a touristy normalcy in a safe environment in the past 10 months. And the funny thing is we live 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours from Dollywood.
You've never been.
We've never been. Alan has taken the boys to, it's called Splash Mountain, which is, or Splash, not Splash Mountain, that's Disney World.
Like
Splash Country, Splash Country,
Yeah.
which is her water park. And they did that when they were little. I don't know why we never took them to Dollywood. I mean, it's not too late, but when they were little, they would have loved it. It was awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. And
I'm going to sign up.
sign up for it. You know, I know you're looking at this for December. We did it on a perfect fall weekend. The weather was perfect. This was the start of actually a little weekend getaway with 3 couples that we did for sort of a belated 50th birthday celebration. Yes, my 50th birthday celebration is never ending. We're going to be talking about this for 2 years. And we rented this cabin that got great reviews. You know, I'm like, I feel like I could have a side gig just helping people get an Airbnb or a VRBO for their vacation.
Yeah, we call that like a travel agent.
Yeah, but I could be.
There is a title for that. It's a travel agent.
Okay, then I've always said I could be a travel agent as a side gig. I love it. I love the research and I love going down these rabbit holes. I love finding the best prices. Yeah, I guess I didn't know. Yeah, that's the name of it. I could be a travel agent. So anyway, we rented this cabin. It literally was like a 2-mile long gravel road to get there. And you were out in the middle of nowhere. Like once we got to the cabin, we had no neighbors. The most beautiful view of I guess Sevierville and the adjoining towns.
Was there a hot tub?
There was a hot tub. There was an outdoor bar and the stools are, instead of being bar stools, they're saddles. They're real saddles, which is hilarious. They had like 10 rocking chairs. The porch was definitely like the clincher. Like we just sat out on that porch. In fact, so one afternoon, 3 out of the 6 of us were sitting on the porch. And it was, so Alan and I were sitting out there. I was basically almost asleep just because we were rocking. And my friend Monique came out and she's rocking. And all of a sudden she's reading a magazine and we're just chit-chatting. I don't even know what we're chit-chatting about. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, there's a bear." I was like, "What?" And I almost didn't hear her. She goes, "Don't move." So we're sitting on the porch. You know, it's got these wooden slats. And we look over 10 feet in front of us is a black bear.
But was it down below or was the porch even with the ground?
The porch wasn't even with the ground. The porch was elevated probably about 5 feet, 5 or 6 feet.
Which is not that much.
Which is not much. Like if you've seen
Bears
anything,
climb.
bears can climb. They can climb anything. The other part is the gate to get onto the porch was open.
Oh no.
So the first thing I think of is that bear could easily just walk around and walk up on the porch. He could have just done that instead of walking, but he was walking on. First of all, we were so stunned. I don't have any photographic evidence or I would show you, but he starts walking. It was like a young, not a cub, but not an adult, right? But a young black bear, which was so cute. I mean, it was very cuddly looking. I know not to cuddle with the wild bears, but
cuddle with wild bears.
Yes. So the 3 of us were literally just stunned and just sat there and we're like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh." So the bear walked by and Alan tried it. Like he was so shocked. He was trying to find like the camera app on his iPad. Nobody, like none of us could even, I forgot I even had my phone. That's how shocked I was. And we were all thinking the same thing, like equal measure shocked that we were seeing bear and a little bit scared the bear was going to attack us, which is really rare. Bears won't attack. But, you know, this has been my constant fear. Like we went hiking that morning. I'm like, okay, if we see a bear, like the whole thing is, what if we see a bear?
Or mountain lions.
Or mountain lion, which is scary, right? After that video of that guy who found one on the trail.
Yeah.
So as soon as the bear came, the bear left. And then we ran inside and told the rest of our group and they missed it. But it was crazy and it was pretty awesome. And the other crazy thing is, you know, at the end, I messaged the owner of the property just to say how thankful we were to stay there. And I said, "Oh, by the way," and we saw a bear on Saturday afternoon. She says, "That is nuts." She said, "I have in all my years of being there, I've never seen a bear." She said, "The locals tell me, of course, they're around and you hear bear reports all the time." She goes, "I've never, ever seen one." So of course, the rest of the trip, we were all on high alert thinking every sound we heard was a bear, but it was surreal. It was so, because we were on the porch and it had these slats sort of like, it felt zoo-like, right? That we're kind of looking over. You felt at least a false sense of security thinking, "Oh, the bear's over there and you're here." But at the same time going, "No, this is not the zoo. This bear is just wild and it could come over here."
And you've literally spent 50 years of your life never seeing a bear in the wild.
Ever.
So,
Ever.
and like, I mean, I've never seen a bear in the
Yeah.
wild. My friends Monique and Aton, we were at camp for this like family camp weekend. They walked back to their cabin and saw a bear, and they really had no place to go because they're walking, and the bear was like 10 feet away from them.
So what did they do?
I think they just stood still until the bear went.
Right.
And camp, this is a camp where we send our kids to, they have like bear trash cans or the bear proof trash cans. So they get bears all the time there.
Yeah.
But gosh, that's exciting. I wish
It
you would
was
have gotten
exciting.
the video though. That's too
Oh,
bad.
I know. Well, I will show you. Alan managed to get like a picture. It's basically the bear's hind leg, behind the post where you can barely see it.
As
It's
he's
almost one of
walking
those
away.
Rorschach pictures. Like, what do you see in this picture? It's actually a bear leg, but it
Not a
could be
bear.
anything. But yeah, that was a very exciting part. It was, oh my gosh. It's sort of like I was so excited to see it, but then the shock of seeing it is actually overwhelming.
So back to Dollywood, and
Yeah.
you talked about the food. I have a very important question, and it's that, and you may not remember, but do you remember if you saw lemon squares being
No.
available in any of the bakeries there?
No, and we did go in. They have a giant candy shop that has literally all that sort of penny candy when we were growing up. Okay, what was the name of the place in Crestline Village? Maybe you were too young, but we used to go there all the time to sort of get the penny candy.
Farbins?
No.
There's like a pharmacy, but then so I had it was very 80s and it took over something, but Rainbow Junction, which sold like Jelly Bellies and colorful popcorn, but I don't remember the name of the penny candy place. I just remember all the different flavored candy canes.
Well, I'm going to have to crowdsource that with people I grew up with in Birmingham because we used to go there all the time, especially because we walked around Crestline all the time. Anyway, so it felt like that, right? It had sort of the old-fashioned candy. It had gummies. It had homemade caramel and candy-coated apples, which was, it's very, I think that's a very country thing. It had homemade fudge. But I don't remember lemon squares.
You don't remember
or anything,
lemon squares?
Anything baked, really.
So if you go back and you see lemon squares, that means Dolly is coming.
Wait, what? Okay, that would have been if I had known that, I would have been looking out for lemon squares.
I'm sorry I didn't share this information with you. And it sounds like, there are these Disney blogs where they have like all these hacks for like the Disney cruise or
How
going
do you
to
know
Disneyland.
this?
I know this because I took an acting class with my friend Rachel. She is phenomenally gorgeous, and she's also a model and an actress and a baker who works at Dollywood.
Oh,
and
come on.
And she told me if they have to make, like, she's there at like 4 a.m. baking, She told me if they have to make lemon squares, if they see that on the to-do list, they know Dolly's coming because those are her favorite. And she said, without fail, every time there are lemon squares, there is Dolly, and that she will make her rounds in the kitchen and say hi to people, and that she is so friendly and so down to earth, but she does not come that often.
Yeah.
Which is lemon squares.
Okay.
Lemon squares.
I'm going to go back every day just to see if they have lemon squares. And we were talking because we became very Dolly obsessed this weekend. We were listening to Dolly music. I mean, everything we were listening to, all of our Spotify playlists were all Dolly Parton centric. I was doing my own little karaoke version of Working 9 to 5, which is the movie I literally watched 55,000 times growing up, so I still knew the theme song by heart. The other part was that we were talking about, which I haven't seen yet, is the Dolly documentary. Have you seen that yet on Netflix?
I don't think no. I was like, no.
Yeah, well,
have you seen it?
No, and but some of our friends had, and they were saying exactly what you were saying, that she is literally like the kindest, most genuine person on earth, and just like she's authentic and she is unfiltered, but that always presents itself as a really kind and loving and embracing person. And that's why I'm back to, Dolly needs to basically rule the world, because she literally, I mean, she inspires people because they respect her, and she walks the walk and sings the walk also. But
Sings the song.
I just love her. Yeah. But she's got a great story. And we were talking also about how, she's been married forever, but you never see her husband because he's an introvert and very shy and doesn't like the spotlight.
Interesting. Do you remember Mommy and Daddy, they had a couple's Halloween party.
Yes.
This was in the 80s, and we can totally figure out what year it was, but it was the year that Dolly was dating Burt Reynolds, because Daddy went as Burt and Mommy was Dolly, and she had that blonde wig.
Okay, they weren't dating. That's the thing.
Were they married?
Dolly's been married since she was like 18. So to the same guy. So they were, yes. So don't spread that rumor. No, they were just friends. But I think they're in a movie together.
So maybe that was it.
Yeah. But that's why, it's so funny because my memory was the same. I was like, well, Dolly and Burt Reynolds, right? But I don't think that's true.
Now we've got to go to the research department.
Yeah. So they...
it was a song? No. Best Little Special in Texas.
Okay, so...
In 82. Little Whorehouse in Texas. The best little whorehouse in Texas.
That's what it is. So they did not date. Let's get the record straight. But yes, in 1982, Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds co-starred in The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. And so that was obviously the inspiration for Mommy and Daddy. Gosh, we have to find that picture.
Oh, yeah. Did Burt Reynolds die?
Yes.
How did he die?
I'll go to our research department, find that.
He wasn't very old.
And I think it was fairly recently. I loved him. I watched those movies, Smokey and the Bandit. Oh my gosh, those were some of my favorite. Was there only one Smokey and the Bandit or a few?
He died in just 2 years ago.
I was going to say, I thought it was fairly recent.
Yeah, that's so sad.
Loved me some Burt Reynolds. I know.
I always confused him and Tom Selleck. I think it was the facial hair.
It must have been. The facial hair. Yeah.
Tom Selleck was Hawaii Five-O in Friends, right? Yeah. That's pretty amazing that he reinvented, like he was in Friends.
Hawaii Five-O? No. He was not Hawaii Five-O. He was in Friends. He was Courtney Cox's boyfriend in Friends.
Magnum P.I.
He was Magnum P.I. Thank you. Oy vey.
God, I don't know why I got... I swear he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, though. That's what...
He is, yes.
Yeah. Magnum P.I. There you go.
I think he shaved his mustache in Friends. And he looked really different.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Is this the 80s? It's hard to picture. He's so dated looking, Like, would we find this handsome now? That mustache is just too much.
I just can't stand facial hair.
Yeah. But the fact that I just can't with this.
All right. So besides Dollywood
crazy eyebrows.
Yeah. Okay. Besides Dollywood being, right, my first real sort of entertainment, sort of normal or traditional entertainment during this very, unusual time period, to say the least, a friend of mine told me that they did something that I think is equally amazing.
What did they do?
I've never heard of this. They went to a drive-through circus.
What does that mean?
I don't know. That's all I know.
How do you drive through a circus? Were there animals? Was there trapeze artists?
I have very little information on this, but I wrote it down so I would remember to tell you about it because I feel like we need to find out where they are. First of all, it brings up a lot of questions. Number one, who knew there were still circuses in town? Because I think, Ringling Brothers, they went by the wayside a few years ago. So who are these circuses and how do you go through a drive-through circus?
I see a drive-in circus.
Maybe it's a drive-in circus. It's a drive
in Texas or Cincinnati?
I don't know. I can't remember who told me. And maybe I just saw it on Facebook. Maybe it's not even a friend.
I mean, I don't know how you can write an article about this and not share photos. We don't even know. I don't drive through the forest and see many different shows, including aerial acrobatics, stilt walkers, fire performers, jugglers, and more.
Oh, see? It is a thing.
Yeah. I don't think there's any animals, though, which I think all the circuses have gotten rid of the animals because it's not nice.
Right. And that was part of the problem.
It is not nice.
Right.
It is not nice.
So that's also a possible side gig for us. We could create our own drive-through circus. We have enough talent between our family, right?
I'm lucky I can touch my toes. What are we going to...
Well, I'm not saying acrobatics. This doesn't have to be a traditional circus. None of this has to be traditional, right? But you could definitely be a sideshow act of some sort in your banana costume, doing stand-up comedy, right?
Eating dinner with us is like a circus, I have to say.
Yeah, we could figure this out. Everybody could have their own little talent.
We got to do a live show. One of the things we're thinking of doing, people who are listening, if you've gotten to the last few minutes of the podcast, is doing a live Sis and Tell show once a month. That, of course, if you can't make it, we would have it recorded too, because we don't want that to go to the ether and disappear, because we're too aware of our awesomeness to let that happen. What do you think of that? Would you listen in on a live Sis and Tell show and interact with us? We want to hear what you have to say. Email us at sisters@sisandtell.com. And as always, please share us with your friends and heck, why not strangers too?
As always, this has been Amanda and Alison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.